Hello everyone. Hope all of you are in a safe and sound position, and I'm sure all the cadets who are being promoted to class 12th now you want to know many things in biology which are unknown to you. So as part of it, in this chapter, reproduction in organisms, the expected learning outcomes are, at the end of this session, you are in a position to define what is lifespan, reproduction, clones, fission, zoospores, conidia, gemmules, vegetative reproduction. And second, you are in a position to understand the concept of reproduction and its types. And the third, to apply the significance of various types of asexual reproduction. These are the learning outcomes that we are expecting from you at the end of this session. Now let's start with the beginning. Reproduction in organisms. We go with the introduction. The period of birth to natural death of an organism is called lifespan. The time in which from birth to death, the time period is called lifespan. No individual is immortal except unicellular organisms. Why? We'll come to know in the next slide. Because it continues its life in progeny by fission. And every organism, be it an animal or a plant, will have an approximate lifespan. Like as you are seeing on the slide, an elephant will live 60 to 70 years, a rose 100 years, a dog for 15 years, and a banana plant 2 to 4 years, a cow 20 to 25 years, and look at that, the banyan tree 400 years, a turtle 100 to 150 years, a horse 30 years, a crocodile 60 years, a honeybee just 30 days, and a butterfly just 1 to 2 weeks, and a small sparrow 5 years, a parrot 140 years, and the rice plant 3 to 7 months, as most of the sons of farmers know it, and the crow that we see every day will have a lifespan of 15 years. The continuity of life on earth is achieved by a process of reproduction. Now let's define what is reproduction. Basically, it's a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones or offsprings. It enables the continuity of species generation after generation. We say perpetuation of species. And this has two types, depending upon whether gametes, that is sex cells or reproductive cells, are involved, or somatic cells or body cells are involved in this. If body cells or somatic cells are involved, and through them if the reproduction takes place, then we call it asexual reproduction. So it is the reproduction by a single parent without formation of gametes, no involvement of gametes. Whereas in sexual reproduction, as I said just now, it's the reproduction in which two parents of opposite sex, male and female sex, involves with the formation and fusion of gametes. Remember, gametes are the sex cells or reproductive cells. So asexual reproduction, in which body cells or somatic cells are involved with a single parent, goes like this. The offspring developed by asexual reproduction is the exact copy of the parents. They are genetically identical because the offsprings are coming from the same parent. Hence they are termed as clones. Remember this, clones. So clones are having same genetically identical offsprings. Asexual reproduction is common in unicellular organism, in plants and in animals having simple organization. So the asexual reproduction in turn will have further types. One of the most common types is fission. Fission means breaking up of the body. If the body of an organism breaks and the broken parts gives rise or develop into a whole organism, and that process we call it fission. And when an organism breaks into two parts and both the parts develop into two different organisms or two similar organisms, then we say binary fission. So the single cell of organism of kingdom Monera, Protista, reproduce by simple cell division called binary fission. The cell divides into two halves, each half develops into new adult. Look at amoeba in the picture. First, to start with, you can see single amoeba, and inside the single amoeba you can see the nucleus breaking into two halves. And as you all know, in class 11th, breaking of nucleus is called karyokinesis. Karyon means nucleus, kinesis means breaking up of nucleus. You can see in the second picture clearly the nucleus is getting broken. And in the third picture you can see the nucleus has completed its process of breaking. Karyokinesis is over, and then cytokinesis started. Means cyto means cytoplasm, kinesis again breaking. So breaking of cytoplasm has started, hence cytokinesis. And you can see virtually a bridge being formed in between the two breaking parts, and after some time this bridge gets cut off and two broken parts are formed with one nucleus each. This broken part having one nucleus will develop in future into a new amoeba. Since from one parental amoeba there are two offsprings or two daughter amoeba are formed, we say this is binary fission. You can see actually how this process takes place in water, in the amoeba. And next, through zoospores, reproduction, asexual reproduction takes place. Zoo refers to movements, zoology, study of animals. Zoospores means animals that produce spores. These are motile, asexual spores found in algae, fungi, and they move. They are motile basically because they use flagellum or sometimes a cilia also for locomotion. You can see here whip-like structure, cilia present there. And then third type is bud formation or budding. As all of you know, budding is very famous in East, and most of the bakery products are being synthesized with the help of yeast powder, and most of your mummies will be preparing dosa, idli, all this. Fermentation process takes place, and the fermentation takes place because of the yeast. And how does that yeast increase its number? It is through process of budding. In yeast, the cell division is unequal and small buds are reproduced. Initially, these are attached to parent cells. Later, on maturity, gets separated and develops into new individual. In Hydra too, the same process of budding takes place. Now, what's the difference between budding and fission? In fission, the parental cell is virtually splitting itself. We say suicidal reproduction. Whereas in budding, parent will be alive as well as buds also alive. And next, conidia. These are the asexual spores of fungus generated by mitosis. And the penicillium, the antibiotic, very famous, is the best example that increases itself through conidia. In phylum Ascomyces, sac fungi we call it, conidia develops on special stalks, conidiophores. Next, through gemmules, asexual reproduction takes place in sponges particularly. We use these sponges in making of sofa sets and cushion chairs, all that. So gemmules are internal buds of freshwater sponges. They resist drought, high temperature, freezing, lack of oxygen. That means they have the resistance to all this. Next, in most of the plants, we see vegetative reproduction. So basically, asexual reproduction takes place in animals, the two lower category animals and lower category plants, whereas vegetative reproduction takes place in plants in general. So naturally it occurs through different types. First one, runner. Second, rhizome, suckers, tuber, offset, bulb. Let's see one example. Runner is also called stolon. It is slender stem that grows horizontally to ground. Naturally, it gets cut off and gets separated and develops into a new individual. Example, strawberry. All of you like this. Look at the strawberry slide and you can see the runner spreading itself on the ground. Second, rhizome. It is the modified underground stem. Again, the children of farmers, most of your parents will be growing this in your fields. If a rhizome is separated into pieces, each piece may be able to give rise to a new plant. The best example is ginger, quinoa. Next, suckers. Again, these are all your favorites. Cherries. So cherries and apples are the suckers. It's a basal shoot, a root sprouts adventitious shoot. It grows from a bud at the base of a tree or shrub or from its roots. Next, tubers. Tubers, modified plant structures that are enlarged to store nutrients. These are short, thick, underground stems. And again, all of you, again, children of farmers, you must have seen with your own eyes in the field, potato. And on potato, you must have seen structures called eyes. So, wherever eyes are present, vegetative spots, we cut that and put it in the soil. It gives rise to fresh potato plant. So it bears minute scale leaves with a bud. It has the ability for developing a new plant. Next, offset. Offset is a small, virtually complete daughter plant that asexually reproduced on the mother plant. Example, water hyacinth. It is a blessing in disguise. As far as plant is concerned, it helps the plant to increase its offsprings. But later on we'll come to know that for us, for all the human beings, this fellow will give us some trouble. What's that? We'll see next. And then bulb. A bulb is a short stem with fleshy leaves or leaf bases. Again, the children, all of you must have seen onion, garlic. These are the best examples of bulbs. And then, just now I said, what is the trouble with water hyacinth? The water hyacinth is basically an aquatic plant. It's called Eichhornia. It is considered as terror of Bengal. Why? It was first introduced in India because of beautiful flowers and shape of the leaf, but with all the beauty, it creates problem, I said. What is the problem? Look at that. All the water bodies, lakes particularly, will be covered densely so that the sunlight will not reach the aquatic plants and aquatic animals. As a result of lack of oxygen in the water, all the aquatic animals will die. Hence, sooner or later, the lake gets polluted. So it causes water pollution. It rapidly reproduces by vegetative method. Offset in a short period, it drains out oxygen from water in the lakes that leads to death of fishes. Hence, it creates water pollution and is considered as water seed. So with this, today's session, I hope you have understood the concept of reproduction and types of reproduction and particularly significance of asexual reproduction. Thank you. Let's see you in the next session.